situation that just occurred about a day ago kind of reminds me of a situation that my dad actually experienced. My dad, he flew C-141s during the Persian Gulf War, and during one of those times when he was in the city of Riyadh, which, if you don't know, is the capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, was actually attacked by Iraqi Scots. Missiles intended to cripple Saudi Arabia as well as coalition forces at the time. And he went through all of that when he was when he was airlifting supplies and whatnot during Operation Desert Storm. And I kind of see the same thing happening right now. Although it's no longer Iraq, it's Iran, or at least it's possible that it's Iran. There has been a report that there was an oil depot that was attacked in Saudi Arabia. Now, a lot of people are especially definitely outraged, more so with the Saudis, which is completely understandable considering that their oil and energy has itself was attacked. A lot of people have been speculating that it may be the Houthi Rebels, while others may claim to may think that it was directly by Iran. Now, I don't know if it was directly by Iran, because it seems so strange that Iran would go this far, in my personal opinion. The reason why is because while I know that Saudi Arabia is a major rival to the Islamic Republic, they tend to more go over proxy wars, something like the U.S. and the USSR did during the Cold War, and they try to honestly, Iran does try to deal partnerships with Russia, and I even believe to some extent even the People's Republic of China, and even a little bit of Europe, considering that they're still stuck with the Iran deal. So, but I don't have confirmation on the EU part. But nonetheless, that's not this attack shows a major escalation when it comes to what's been going on in the Middle East. Because in Yemen, it's become so heavy, it's become a major proxy war. Forget Syria, which, although it is an important conflict that a lot of people have been focused on, including the United States, even though we have pulled out troops from there. It nonetheless serves that it's definitely still going to be a geopolitical battleground for a while now. This time it's going to be between Saudi Arabia and Iran. And this attack alone show that at the very least, the Houthi, is it Houthi or Houthi? I don't think it matters. But the rebels in Yemen are willing to go so far out to attack Yemen directly, and that is if the rebels were actually to did something like this. There have been reports that they have actually gone control of drones due to supply arming from the Islamic Republic of Iran. And honestly, I can see that, considering that for a while now, the Houthi rebels have been supported by Iran, while the main government has been supported by the Saudi-led coalition in the area. So I think in my own personal opinion, I think this is more in the line of the rebels committing this attack. So I don't think that Iran would be crazy enough to do something like this. They would be in a very desperate situation. I mean, yeah, they are kind of in a desperate situation with the sanctions and stuff, and the fact that Donald Trump did not take the bait of launching an attack after the drone issue, and of course the attacks on the shipping lanes within the Strait of Hormuz. But nonetheless, I don't think that they would risk all-out war, not just on Saudi Arabia, which again is major competitor in the area, but also their ally, the United States. It would not look good for them. Regardless, I do not believe that there's going to be much to there will be a lot of things that that will happen as a result of this attack. I believe that there will be an escalation in the Yemen civil war. There will be more involvement with Saudi Arabia in Yemen itself. After all, it is they are bordered with Yemen, so it makes perfect sense that if they would want to have control of this region instead of having an Iranian puppet. So yeah, I would honestly believe that more airstrikes would carry out. I do not think that there would be any direct escalation to Iran, except in the form of more sanctions or condemning the Islamic Republic for allowing such things to happen. I really don't, because if there would be a war, this would affect the United States, and more specifically, it would affect Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has been very, very vocal, especially when it comes to his policy around the world of not really wanting to bring the United States into another conflict unless it is a legit reason, like we ourselves were under attack. Hell, there was even about like I believe September 6th, he actually tried to commit to a secret peace talk with the Taliban in Camp David. Although that was unfortunately ended after a suicide bombing occurred in Kabul, which then he decided to end the peace talks right there because of what happened. So I don't think that I do not believe that that Iran is going to get what it wants, and that would be a major war. I think if Iran is directly responsible by launching an attack on Saudi Arabia, it would be in the form of be considered desperation, and they would definitely lose international support as a result, because they would be the ones that fired the first shot. That again, this is in the scenario that Iran would be the one that actually would attack Saudi Arabia. But nonetheless, it is clear that no one wants this to escalate, especially the United States. If there's one thing that President Donald Trump does not want, is an escalation in the Middle East. If there's an escalation, that would mean the international community would be involved, whether it be militarily or economically. Hell, after the attack on one of its oil depots, oil prices rose 20% as a result. 20%, and that's going to be hitting the market when it comes to oil prices very dramatically. So no one would like the idea of open warfare between these two countries. Again, the United States would not like that. Donald Trump wouldn't like that. And of course, and considering that it's in an election year, that would bring the United States into war. If bringing the United States into war unless we were directly attacked would not go around publicly for the United States. It just wouldn't. All I can see right now is that there will be an escalation to the proxy conflict. What is going to happen in Yemen. And in a strange way, I kind of think that it would be something similar to Vietnam. Kind of like how the Gulf of Tonkin Tonkin resolution was passed, how the United States eventually got into South Vietnam and then became directly involved in the conflict in Vietnam, and we already know how that went out. So I think that's how it in a weird way that something similar will happen for Saudi Arabia. For the United States, I don't really think that there's going to be much because we're not really a part of the Saudi-backed coalition. While we do cooperate with them sometimes, and we are a little bit limited. We have limited involvement in Yemen. It's mainly in the form of trying to defeat Al Qaeda and ISIS. That's mainly just about it. But yeah, so mainly Saudi is going to be the one that's going to be the major leader when it comes to the conflict surrounding Yemen. And I don't believe that Saudi Arabia, the United States, or Iran is going to want to have this conflict to escalate. Because if it does, this will only engulf the entire region. This will engulf the Middle East. Two rivals plus the United States in an all-out war, not a good result. But honestly, I believe that situation is highly unlikely at this point. Although time will tell if something like that would change. My name is Homie and on the Art Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any issues with how I make my videos, how I speak, any information that you want to give, please post them down in the comment section down below or directly message me. Thank you.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains.